Hey guys, and welcome to Where's the Scale. So a few days ago, the news broke that GPT-4 is now available to the general public. This means that not only ChatGPT Plus members have access to GPT-4, but also people who are using OpenAI and have been waiting for their API for the longest time. So now they can enjoy the benefits of GPT-4. And I thought it would be a very nice video to compare once again the GPT-4 inside of the ChatGPT and GPT-4 that of Open Playground. And I'll be going over some pros and cons and just general factors that I will be assessing the two against. So the first thing that you need to note is the price, and it's very difficult to compare since you pay a monthly flat fee for GPT-4 inside of ChatGPT Plus, which is $20 per month, and you pay on an ongoing basis when it comes to Open Playground. But you have the hard caps to consider. So right now it's 25 messages every 3 hours. So let's just say it takes you 5 iterations to write a full article. So let's just do some basic math. 25 divided by 5, this means 5 articles. And so you can repeat this process maybe 3 times per day, maybe. So it's about 15 articles per day times 30 if you want to go crazy, so it's 450. So 20 divided by 450, that's going to be 0.04 cents per article. With Open Playgrounds, a very long article, say 3,000-4,000 words, would cost you anywhere from 10 to 20 cents. So I still think, even though I've heard some views on YouTube that claim the contrary, I still think that for an average user, ChatGPT Plus is going to be cheaper than Open Playground. And of course, if you're using something like AutoGPT, you can go crazy and just go over your limits very quickly and spend a few $100s if you're not careful in a few days. So having said that, pricing wise, I think ChatGPT is a 5 and OpenAI is a 3. Then another subjective metric, which is UX. And I know this is like, I'm trying to judge from the standpoint of the average consumer. And from the average consumer standpoint, I think that the ChatGPT's UX, user experience and UI user interface, are easier. So this is easier to digest and get a hang of it, as opposed to Open Playground that first you need to get access to. Then you have this weird looking thing where you have your sidebar on the left, your user on the top, then you can add messages, then there are different settings like temperature, frequency penalty, and presence penalty. So I think that from the UX and UI, let's just add UI, ChatGPT is a 5 and OpenAI Playground is a 3. Now the third factor is limits. So I've already touched upon it. The current limit is 25 messages every 3 hours. I don't think that's going to last forever, but this is extremely annoying, especially if you're in the middle of something and then you hit this hard cap. And it's just, if you're trying to write anything of a production quality at scale, once again, sorry for repeating myself, this is going to be very cumbersome. So those limits, I would say this means for ChatGPT, this is a 1, and for OpenAI, it's a 5. Learning curve. So there is a lot of things, again, that you need to take into consideration when it comes to OpenAI Playground. You have the settings, you have a choice of different models, you need to know what the temperature is, what the maximum length does, what the frequency penalty and presence penalty represent. And again, you have this left system sidebar, as opposed to just talking to a chat or talking to a bot here in a very conversational manner. So I would think that learning curve is maybe a 4 for ChatGPT and a 2 for OpenAI Playground. Next, plugins. So OpenAI does not have any plugins, and I don't think they will ever have plugins because this is intended for developers for testing out the APIs. But ChatGPT, we all know, have different plugins. They have just introduced the code interpreter, and I've recorded a video about that. They have plugins. If you go to the plugin store, this is an ever-increasing, ever-evolving marketplace that will not load for me. But trust me, you have lots of plugins, and you have your SEO plugins, you have your images plugins, you have your crypto plugins, and whatnot. So lots of things to choose from. There is a lot of rubbish here, admittedly, but still you can enjoy different combinations of plugins. So the beauty of ChatGPT is, once again, in that you can use up to 3 different plugins and use chain commands. And I have a lot of that on my channel. So you can say go and read an article via Webpilot, then read a YouTube transcript via VoxScript, and then run a correlation analysis or come up with a diagram using Wolfram. And you can do that all inside of one prompt. And you cannot do that at all with OpenAI Playground. So I would have to score ChatGPT for plugins. I would have to score as 5, and 1 I would have said 0, but you can go around some of the functionality of the plugins and you can have crutch solutions for that. So it's not a 0, it's a 1. Next, internet access. So this is kind of the continuation of what I was saying. OpenAI Playground does not have any internet access, and if you want to write any factual information at all, you need to feed it to the system sidebar here. So whatever goes here can be referenced in the main chat. And this is the way that some of the AI writers still operate. They have this window, the background, the context, or whatever they call it, that you can use to feed factual information to ChatGPT or GPT-4 in this example. And of course, a few weeks ago, we used to have the browse feature, which has been taken off, but you can still bypass the absence of this feature by using Webpilot and VoxScript and other plugins that do connect to Google and Internet. So I would say that ChatGPT is still capable of writing factually accurate content. So this means 5 for ChatGPT and 3 for OpenAI, just because you can feed factual information to the system sidebar. Now the quality. This one is going to be controversial, and this is very anecdotal. I'm not techy enough to explain it to you in technical terms and provide any arguments besides just my observations. But if I use the same prompts within ChatGPT and within OpenAI Playground, like 9 times out of 10, I would get a higher quality response from OpenAI Playground. And for example, when I write my articles based on YouTube videos, still to this day, I basically paste the transcript of the video here, and I get a much higher quality response at the end, as opposed to just using VoxScript inside of ChatGPT. And I just feel that the response is of a lesser quality. Again, I cannot provide any arguments besides my own observations, and I've been using OpenAI Playground for quite a while, and I was one of the first ones to get access to GPT-4, so I kind of know what I'm talking about. So since this is a bit controversial, I would say it's a 4 for ChatGPT, and it's a 5 for OpenAI Playground. Now the system sidebar, and actually you might be wondering why some of these factors are blue and some of them are yellow, and this is going to be subjective once again, but the blue ones represent the factors that myself, I treasure a lot. So I do care about the limits. I hate when I hit the hard cap, and I do care for the quality, and I really enjoy using this sidebar. So the sidebar, and I have quite a few videos that explain how to use the sidebar, but basically you can use the sidebar for interlinking. You can use the sidebar to feed YouTube transcripts. This is perfect for inserting keywords and doing your clustering analysis and whatnot. And I know this is a bit of a cheating, but you can still use the GPT 3.5 Turbo 16K, which will improve your overall memory. It will boost it up. And I know this is going to be available in ChatGPT soon, but still, there are some things that you just can't do inside the ChatGPT. And I rely on the system sidebar a lot. So I would say it's a A1 because you can kind of replicate that. You can say, know this information here in ChatGPT and then reference the above information, but it's not very handy and it's not very convenient. And especially I hate when you feed information to ChatGPT and then ChatGPT crashes. And with Open Playground, it's just not the case. So I would say it's a 1 for ChatGPT and it's a 5 for OpenAI Playground. And now finally to the use cases. So I've kind of touched upon some of the use cases of Open Playgrounds. The first use case is, as I said, the internal linking. So you can feed your internal links here and build a beautiful prompt referencing the internal links. And it just doesn't work as well in ChatGPT. Also, the thing that you can absolutely not do in ChatGPT and you can in GPT-4 is avoid AI detection. And I have a video about AI detection. Let me just show it to you real quick. So this is the video. I hacked AI detection. That's what it's called. Let me turn off the sounds straight away. And it's basically talking about how you can use different settings to avoid AI detection. And I invite you all to watch this video here. And it's a hybrid approach. So use a prompt here and use settings like, if I remember correctly, it's temperature 1 and frequency penalty from 0.5 to 1 and presence penalty from 0.5 to 1. And this is one of the only working ways to bypass originality.ai on a consistent basis. So the other ways would be to use undetectable.ai or Agility Writer that has AI anti-detection mechanism. But this is a pretty reliable way to bypass AI detection. And again, you just cannot do that. You cannot replicate that within ChatGPT. So for that, I think, and this is a tie, and I will explain myself. I think this is a tie because ChatGPT has a lot of use cases by using the plugins, and you have potentially unlimited amount of combinations and plugins. So I would score this maybe a 4, and this is a 4 as well. And yeah, that's it. So I'm trying to be objective here. Let's just count the scores. I'm actually curious what I'll get. So I got a score of 34 here. Let's count. Let's make it red. And let's do the same for OpenAI. And I actually stand corrected. So OpenAI is 31. And this concludes my analysis. So for the average user, I think ChatGPT for now is still a better option than OpenAI Playground. But me, myself, I'm using both. I do the majority, I would say 100% of my copywriting. If I'm not using Agility Writer, I'm doing that in OpenAI Playground. And for ChatGPT, I'm just testing prompts using different plugins. So I'm not actually writing articles inside of ChatGPT. But again, for the average user, I still think that ChatGPT Plus would be a more viable option. Hope you found this analysis helpful. Like, share, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time.